Jo Leute, das ist die Demo von The Centennial Case Shijima Story. Und ja, ich weiß gar nicht, was das für ein Spiel ist. Ich glaube nur, es ist ein FMV-Spiel, also mit echten Videos. Also das, was ich gesehen habe, sah so aus. Aber wir schauen mal rein. Okay, wird auf Deutsch angezeigt. Sollen wir Japanisch nehmen? Ah nee, Englisch verstehe ich auch. Japanisch nicht. Okay. Ja. Okay, Hinweise Person. Kann ich jetzt zurückspulen? Nee. Okay, aber zurück. Sorry, dass ich hier jetzt schon rumklicke.
Thank you. Eiji!
You're quite the success. You're a bona fide best-selling mystery writer now, Haruka. Oh, here.
We couldn't have done it without your help, Eiji. Thank you.
It's nothing.
You should have told me you were coming. You didn't have
Oh, sorry. Ah, jetzt kann ich mir die Leute hier
You
ansuchen,
should have told me
aussuchen.
you were coming.
Da
You didn't
gucken.
have to wait in line. Did you really come here for my autograph? Or are you here to see Akari?
No, it's not like that.
Huh?
I mean, let's just say I wanted to see the both of you. Actually, I have a favor to ask of you.
A favor?
Yeah. There's a once-in-a-century succession at my family home. And I was hoping you could get some information for me.
Your family home? You mean that grand estate at the foot of Mount Fuji?
That's right. My family has spent many years on medical research. In particular, how to stop the aging process. It's embarrassing, but I had a huge fight with my father that ended with me leaving the family. And that's why I want you to do some investigating, while pretending to write a feature story.
What are we investigating?
The so-called fruit of youth. It's been passed down for generations in my family and a recently unearthed skeleton.
At 3 p.m. yesterday, the police were informed that skeletal remains had been found at an estate in Tenmamura, Fujimine County, Shizuoka. The remains of indeterminate age and gender were buried under a large cherry tree. The police are trying to establish the identity of the deceased.
Okay. Also wir haben Haruka Kagami, Eiji Shijima und Akari Yamase. Wir gucken einfach einen Film zusammen, warum nicht? Wer ist das? Yoko Shijima. Die anscheinend sehr viel Zeit hat.
Who'd have thought? E.g., a literary consultant.
Yes. Haruka here writes mystery novels, and he makes sure that all the science is sound.
So, does he come up with the crime tricks too?
No, I devised them myself.
That's amazing. I read mysteries sometimes, but I never know who the culprit is. Is there some secret to figuring them out?
Well, it sounds obvious, but every story contains a mystery, and there will always be clues to help solve that mystery. Just try to connect these clues and somehow you'll arrive at a hypothesis.
Connect the clues to the mystery.
Yes.
Okay.
Every story has a mystery, as well as clues to help solve that mystery.
Krass, wie Matrix, oder was?
In this cognitive space, I fit the mystery and clues together like a puzzle. Come up with a hypothesis and build a connected path of logic.
And I'm here to help with the reasoning, huh?
Yes, but remember, you're just an image of AG inside my head.
Gut für den Zuschauer erklärt.
Then,
Let's give it a shot.
Okay. Hinweise. Der Sound, bang. Dies ist Harukas Logikraum, der imaginäre Raum, in dem sie ihre Fälle löst. Die Felder, die auf der linken Seite schon ausgefüllt sind, stellen die Rätsel dar. Darum herum schweben die Hinweise. Ziel ist es, beide korrekt miteinander zu verbinden. Also ich meine drumherum, ne? Wenn du in die freien Felder um die Rätsel herum die passenden Hinweise einsetzt, entsteht eine Verbindung zwischen Rätsel und Hinweisen. Okay, Rätsel. Jede Detektivgeschichte basiert auf Rätsel sowie Hinweise. Guck mal, diese in Verbindung lassen sich Hypothesen. Okay. Kann ich die jetzt verbinden oder was? Da. Okay. Die Hypothese. Es sieht wie ein Arte-Film aus, ne? Hypothese. Hinweise helfen uns dabei, Rätsel zu lösen. Weiter. Verbindet man sie miteinander, lassen sich Hypothesen ableiten. Mithilfe dieser Hypothesen gehen wir der Wahrheit auf den Grund. Beenden. Back. Hypothesen. Mit L1, R1 kannst du nach rechts und links zwischen den Szenen wechseln. Mit Steuerkreuz links, rechts oder oben oder unten. Oben, unten wahrscheinlich. Bewegst du den von dir liegenden Pfad der Logik nach vorne und hinten. Mit R lässt er sich präziser bewegen. So, ich musste ganz gehen und habe das unterdrückt. Deduktion. Bist du mit deinen Hypothesen zufrieden? Ist die Deduktion abgeschlossen? Abschluss. Abschluss wird eingeleitet.
Well, something like that.
I see.
Warte, ich kann ja Pause drücken. Was habe ich denn jetzt gemacht? Ich habe einfach nur Felder in Felder reingelegt. Wird das jetzt immer so sein? Ich will doch wissen, was die Hypothese ist und so.
Connect the clues to the mystery and form a hypothesis. That's how
Wir haben
you read it.
wahrscheinlich nur die Mechanik jetzt kennengelernt, wie man das macht und müssen das dann hinterher selber lösen. Wir wissen es nicht.
Mystery novel.
Akari,
Also ich weiß es nicht.
you are an editor, right? How do you know E.G.?
I met him when we were looking for an advisor on scientific matters. We practically forced him to arrange today's session as well. Thank you so much for agreeing to meet us.
Ryoya insist on it. Please, make yourselves comfortable.
Thank you.
Ich finde die Schauspielerin oder auch den Schauspieler, der jetzt auch da war, die sind eigentlich alle gut. Also die Mimik und so sieht eigentlich richtig gut aus, aber die Synchronsprecher, die gefallen mir irgendwie nicht.
Oh, that looks very good on you.
it's been ages since I last wore a kimono.
You look so handsome in it.
She's right. I barely recognize you.
Well, I can't attend the cherry blossom ceremony in my regular clothes. It was all laid out for me, and most importantly,
Worauf spielt er an? Meint er eine Gelegenheit, bei Akari Eindruck zu schinden? Und außerdem was? Komm, wir fragen einfach.
What's most important? Let me guess. You wanted to look good for Akari?
Of course not.
Was? Ich habe doch genau das nicht gewählt.
All the same, I'm glad there was a spare kimono for him.
Whose kimono is it?
Actually, this kimono was made for me a long time ago.
Oh, we have guests. I'm sorry for intruding.
Ja, wo kamen die ganzen Stimmen denn her? Das sind doch nur
It's been a
Pappwände.
long time, hasn't it?
Sorry. Have we met?
Yoyoi's only been with us for 3 years. Or perhaps you know one another from before?
No. There's just a familiar scent in the air.
Oh Gott.
That's probably me. I'm wearing a perfume with citrus notes.
Now that you mention it, that does smell refreshing. Anyway, this
So
is our
Klostein
living
am Hals
room.
gerieben.
Yayoi,
Oh, sorry.
you wanted to see me?
Mr. Shijima asked me to gather the equipment for the cherry blossom ceremony, but I just can't find some of the items.
Let's look for them together, shall we? E.g., I will join you later. Everyone, please go on ahead to the Shijima cherry tree.
So, was that your mother, Eiji?
Or perhaps your stepmother?
How did you know?
Oh, well.
Okay. Stammen die Ideen... Wort. Wenn du Rätsel und Hinweise verbindest, entstehen mögliche Hypothesen. Diese sind die wichtigsten Pflastersteine auf dem Pfad der Logik, der dich zur Lösung des Falls führt. Stammen die Idee für die Fälle auch von ihm? Warte mal. Was beweist, dass Yoki Eijis Stiefmutter ist? Yoko und Eiji sind nicht blutsverwandt. Worauf lässt sich diese Annahme stützen? Kann ich da jetzt hiermit... Die Leiche. Was steht denn da? Hier, oder was? Vielleicht ist das die Mutter. Also, warte mal, ich muss gar nichts machen. Das ist wahrscheinlich beides. Yoko wusste nicht, dass Eiji ein Kimono im Haus hatte. Yoko sagte, es sei gut, dass ich ein Kimono für Eiji gefunden habe. Sicherlich hatte sie das als seine Mutter gewusst. Hätte sie das. Vielleicht ist Yoko nicht Eijis leibliche Mutter. Okay, und da haben wir hier noch einen zweiten. Deduktion. Ja, komm, ich bin damit zufrieden. Ja, der war jahrelang nicht zu Hause, als ob die das noch weiß. Egal. Um den Fall zu lösen, musst du die richtigen Hypothesen präsentieren. Du kannst natürlich nur Hypothesen wählen, die du zuvor erstellt hast. Ja, dann machen wir das.
It seemed like she didn't know you had your own kimono. A mother would definitely have known, and anyway, she's too young.
Very observant, Haruka.
Also, you were about to say something earlier, weren't you? Most importantly, my mother gave me this kimono. Is that what you were going to say?
Yoko is my father's second wife. They got married after I left the family.
I see. Well, she seems nice.
Yeah. I guess.
She was in the house when the skeleton was found, correct? I've got to ask her about that later.
Just remember, you're supposed to be writing about the ceremony. I can't imagine what my father would say if he finds out what I've asked you to do.
What? Is he that scary?
Well, you'll see when you meet him.
Sure.
Well then, let's go see the cherry tree.
Die Blicke. Das spiegelt die Synchronsprecherin gar nicht wider, ne?
Wow. So this is the Shijima cherry tree.
Boah, Hammerbaum,
For
ne?
the first time in 100 years.
Ist der echt? Oder CGI?
The skeleton was found under this
Das sind
tree.
Pikachu-Schwänze gewesen.
Yeah. Who killed and buried that sad soul here, I wonder?
Killed?
The skeleton's chest bones had marks that suggested a knife wound, apparently.
But then, shouldn't the police be investigating this?
My father's in a standoff with the police right now. He told them not to say anything until the remains were identified. But somehow, the story got leaked to the media. But the remains are nearly 100 years old, apparently. So the police have no reason to hurry. That's why I want to solve this mystery.
So what you want to know is,
Wer das Opfer war. Ah, wer das Opfer war oder wer den Mord begangen hat. Ich denke mal, wer das Opfer war, oder? Es ist beides wichtig. Ey, wenn die jetzt sagt, wer das Opfer und wer den Mord begangen hat, ne, dann flippe ich aus, weil dann brauche ich nicht wählen. Ich sag, wer das Opfer war.
the identity of the skeleton, right?
The identities of both the skeleton and the killer.
Say you do uncover the truth about this 100-year-old murder, then what?
It's of great importance to me, actually. I suspect that skeleton has something to do with the Shijima family's fruit of youth.
You've mentioned that fruit before. What is it?
More precisely, the Tokijiku no Kaku no Konomi. According to my
Okay.
mother, anyone who consumes this fruit will stop aging
Wie
forever.
der
It's mentioned
das
in the
übersetzt hat.
Ujiki Chronicles. This fruit of youth has been passed down for generations in my family. Although I
Man hat richtig gemerkt, wie er sich konzentriert hat. Man nennt es Guti 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 Guti. Das hat er 100 Pro geübt. So, ich hätte es gerne in Original gehört, aber ich lese jetzt immer so schnell und trotzdem ist es für mich ein bisschen schnell. Deswegen zum Glück verstehe ich noch das Englische.
I've never seen it, and my father won't tell me anything about it. But if it's somewhere in that house, I'm going to find it and rewrite the future of medicine.
Eiji, you realize it's strange for a scientist to be saying all that, right?
But it isn't strange at all. Science offers countermeasures to aging.
Really?
Es gibt so Fische, die sich regenerieren und so.
The human chromosome determines how many times a cell can divide. They're like game tokens, and aging is what happens when tokens get spent. But some forms of life have an endless supply of these tokens.
Endless?
Yeah. Cancer cells, for example. They're able to multiply infinitely because their telomeres constantly repair themselves. In effect, they're ageless. That's why it isn't totally bizarre that a fruit might contain components that stop aging.
A fruit that makes people ageless. And it's called the,
Ja, komm, sag's nochmal. Tiki taka tuku. Ja, Kaku no Konono.
Kaku no kono.
Tokijiku no Kaku no
Oh.
Konomi. Let's show it to Tokijiku.
What does this Tokijiku have to do with our skeleton?
Das ist so gespielt.
I found an account of a murder committed 100 years ago.
Ich will's nochmal und ich kann ja zurückspulen.
I found an
What does this
Tokijiku no Kaku no Konomi.
Kaku no kono?
Tokijiku no Kaku no Konomi.
Ey, ich will das Thumbnail haben.
Tokijiku no
Warte, ich muss weiter zurückspulen, damit das Zeug hier alles weggeht.
Tokijiku no
Ah, okay, weiter zurück.
People ageless. And it's called the,
Ich lache nicht über das Wort, ich lache darüber, dass er sich auch so anstrengt.
Kaku no kono.
Tokijiku no Kaku no Konomi. Let's show it to Tokijiku.
Boah, das hat er echt
What does
geübt.
this Tokijiku have to do with our skeleton?
I found an account of a murder committed 100 years ago, and it mentions the Tokijiku. Based on the proximity and dates, that skeleton might just be related to this case.
A murder.
I don't know the details, But the Shijima-Family history is full of unsolved cases, unnatural deaths, that sort of thing. Please, Haruka. I want to know the Tokijiku's whereabouts and the truth behind my family's involvement in that skeleton. Will you help me?
Ja, ich muss.
I'd be glad to help. But where should I start?
I have just the reading material for you.
Reading material?
Coole Kameraperspektive, ne?
Didn't think you'd be the first one here.
Long time no see, Eiji.
You really think you can just waltz back in here?
Das ist der Vater oder was?
Here with the family succession?
You're Haruka Kagami, aren't you? Author of the Detective Makoto Nishimari series.
You know about it?
Of course. Look, Kazunaga. She created Makoto Nishimari. You know, with the cool catchphrase, the path of logic lines
Bruder,
up.
Never
okay.
heard of it.
This is Haruka Kagami, a writer, and her editor, Akari Yamase. My older brother, Kazunaga, and my younger brother, Mitsunori.
Nice to meet you. Just wondering, what brings you two here?
Haruka's writing a feature story.
About the skeleton under the cherry tree. I bet a mystery writer like you can't get enough.
Ja, komm. Sie ist stark.
I don't need to play nice with him. I'm dying to know more. Is the answer you're looking for, yes?
Given your expertise, why don't you try figuring it out yourself? The identity of that skeleton, I mean. Then you can proclaim the path of logic lines up.
Of course. I'll look into it.
Thank you for having us.
Eiji, long time no see.
Dad, you're looking well.
You look terrible in a kimono.
Krass.
Then it's good that I'll never have to wear one for work.
Not that you look any better in a lab coat, mind you.
Boah, was ein Assi. Informationen werden als Hinweise angezeigt. Okay. Okay.
After leaving the family, what exactly have you been researching?
That's none of your business.
So be it.
Er ist auf jeden Fall ein Arsch.
Welcome. I am Ryoe Shijima. And you must be the best-selling writer.
Edgy ist mir bei der Arbeit eine große Hilfe. Ja, komm, wir sind ein bisschen bescheiden.
Best-selling is a bit...
So you're interested in our cherry blossom ceremony? This ceremony is an important family tradition, held once every 100 years. Feel free to take part and ask questions, but I ask you not to interfere. We don't usually let outsiders attend, after all.
We understand. Thank you. I promise we won't cause any inconvenience.
To be honest, that skeleton has attracted a lot of unwanted media attention. Such a nuisance. If this story of yours can help clarify matters, we'd be very grateful.
Promo machen.
Who's that?
Oh, that's our gardener, Takehiko Kusakari. He's looked after this cherry tree for us for many years.
Excellent work. You should be proud, Kusakari.
It's my pleasure, sir.
Then let us begin.
Ende. Also irgendwie gefällt mir das. Aber bis jetzt habe ich kaum was getan. Es war nur oft jetzt lustig. Aber ich weiß ja noch nicht genau, wie das Gameplay sein wird und ob das Bock macht. Aber so vom Style her, das ist gut gefilmt eigentlich. Das Menü sieht ganz gut aus. Das Centennial Case Shijima-Story. Das ist aber auch ein gutes Thumbnail, ne? Ich habe mal einen Screenshot gemacht. Ah, es geht weiter. Cool.
About Ryoe. How much does he know about me?
What do you mean?
Something he said makes me think that...
Ja, mit der Bestseller-Autorin. Okay. Okay. Hier. Oh, da ist es. Kommt es... Ach, da rein. Wegen dem Zeichen hier. Aber warum nicht? Bestseller kann auch ein Krimi sein. Kann ich das auch noch da reinpacken? Warte mal, ich kann... Geht das nicht? Ah, okay. Ah, krass, okay. Aber wo kommen wir da? Abschluss. Aber die kann doch trotzdem einen Krimi-Roman schreiben. Das glaube ich nicht. Rio machte eine Bemerkung über Bababa. Gesehen haben. Okay, das mache ich auf jeden Fall.
I think whatever he knows about me comes from reading the interview. He said that AG didn't look good in a lab coat. He must have seen the picture of AG in that interview.
Of course he did. I sent it to him in advance, after all. And I also told him about you, Haruka Kagami, a best-selling writer.
You didn't tell him I was a mystery writer?
Well, do you think he'd really let a pop fiction writer come in here to do a story about their centuries-old tradition?
I think he would. By the way, where did everyone go?
Oh, they're lighting incense at the altar.
Also die bisherigen Rätsel hätte sie einfach durch Fragen lösen können. Weißt du, woher die das wissen? Ja, ich habe denen was geschickt.
What's the matter?
It's nothing. Just seem to have lost my phone strap.
It's
Maybe
nothing.
back at the cherry tree? I'll take a look later. Anyway, what do you make of everything so far?
The cherry blossom ceremony, this estate, the skeleton, and this Tokijiku business. Everything's a mystery. That reminds me, you mentioned some reading material?
Ah, right. This could be our first clue, I think. Eiji found it, by the way.
Shinseinen, the very first magazine to publish at Ogawa Rampo.
You sure know your stuff. This issue, published nearly 100 years ago, contains the first part of a novel. The writer's name is Yoshino Shijima.
Shijima? As in one of Eiji's ancestors?
Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be a serial novel, but for some reason the other parts were never published. And guess what? The Tokijiku appears in the story. This is the 100-year-old murder case that Eiji mentioned.
But it's fiction, right?
It's presented that way. Yes, but what's written here actually happened.
So, it's a true story?
Mm-hmm. If you read this, you'll learn about what happened to the Tokijiku in the Taisho era.
All right, I'll get started.
But there's just one problem.
Huh?
Some pages
Wie sie die ganze Arbeit schon gemacht hat, ne?
have holes in them. Some are missing. It's not a complete story, I'm afraid.
You're right. This looks painful to read. It's full of archaic expressions, too.
But in your hands, it just might be solved.
Huh?
How about imagining the characters as people you know in real life? For example, the young protagonist. She wants to be a writer. That sounds very much like you, doesn't it?
Then what about this partner of hers, Josie? Who would this be?
A smart, somewhat aloof man. Does anyone come to mind?
Ich kenne nur IG, ne?
Eiji, I guess.
What's important is how easy it is for your imagination. Focus on that.
Right. And as for the other characters...
You could try imagining them as people from the Shijima household.
The Shijima household? Of course, I'll give it a shot. We first met in the spring of 1922, the 11th year of the Taisho era.
Okay.
Industries languished after the end of the Great War, and disease ravaged the country once more. Many lives were lost during those dark days. But that was precisely why we pursued the joys and ambitions of life with even greater zeal. Democracy, the human right to liberty and equality. The flowers of modernity had bloomed, and they were growing out from the skulls of our dead. On that day, somewhere in Tokyo, at the residence of one Ginsaku Goto, a private auction was about to start. I heard rumors that the Tokijiku, the so-called fruit of youth, would be up for sale. And so I was on the lookout for a way in. All for the sake of that fruit.
Aber sehr cool mit Kostüm und alles. Ich guck mal eben auf die Aufnahmezeit. Geht das während des... Jo.
I'm very much looking forward to today, Ginsaku.
As am I, dear Setsu. Well, please come in. You too, Setsu.
Eieieiei, das habe ich gesehen.
Interesting. I'm sorry.
Can I have that back, please?
Sorry. Excuse me. That's pig's blood, isn't it? What's it for? That's an awfully fancy bottle for pig's blood. We had pigs back home, you see. I remember it well, since my darling pigs kept getting turned into food.
You can tell from just one look.
Well...
This is a very precious item.
Okay. Ich frage einfach.
If so, maybe I can tag along. What are you gonna sell it as, huh? A panacea? Or dragon's blood, perhaps?
Who are you?
Was wähle ich jetzt?
I'm Yoshino Shijima. You're taking part in that private auction, aren't you? I'd like to attend as well. But I heard that every participant has to bring some item related to eternal youth or immortality. She seems to be an exception, though.
Who?
The woman who went inside. I'm pretty sure she has a special relationship with the organizer. I guess people like her are welcome too.
Why do you think that?
They touched each other discreetly, so the man beside them wouldn't notice. They seemed used to that. Wait! Don't go. You don't want me telling everyone that it's just pig's blood, do you?
What do you want from me?
Call me your companion or whatever. Just take me inside with you. Please!
Your reasoning is flawed. That woman is a legitimate participant.
Hey, wait!
Tja, Kacke gelabert. Oops.
Are you coming?
You let me in.
You've got a keen eye. It might come in handy.
Thank you.
Oh, welcome.
The name's Josui Kusaka. I heard about the auction from Setsu.
You knew who she was? That's not fair.
Yes, she mentioned you. Josui, yes? Setsu's already inside. And this is?
She's my traveling companion. Please don't mind her.
I see. Well, then come in. Have some tea while we wait for the auction to start. Is something wrong?
Da ist ein Freak am Fenster. Wenn sie jetzt sagt, da ist niemand.
It's nothing.
Ah, okay.
I had infiltrated the auction with some unexpected assistance. Now I needed an opportunity to seize the Tokijiku. Let's do this. This is going to turn into a romance plot with Eiji, isn't it?
You mean Josui, right? Not Eiji. You're just borrowing faces and voices, remember?
That's right. Back to the story.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. I'm the head of this estate, Ginsaku Goto. The auction will begin at noon, about an hour from now. Please make yourselves at home until then.
Nice to meet you, everyone. My name is Kinu Kotomiya, and I deal in antiques. As you must have heard from Ginsaku, all of today's items have some relation to eternal youth. The items you've brought will be put on display, and you'll bid for items that catch your fancy. It's time to show us how skilled you are at buying low and selling high. I hope we have an exhilarating auction.
Wie das Klatschen nicht mit drin ist.
Anything to do with eternal youth is probably a scam, but I just love the idea of it.
Jetzt frage ich mich, ob das in der japanischen Tonspur noch
What did
drin ist.
everyone bring? Oh, I can't wait.
I hear you're a collector of strange and bizarre tales, Setsu.
Yes, that's why my curiosity is so easily piqued. What have you brought?
Dragon's blood.
Oh,
Long
schnell
sought
3.
after by those in power, its ability to grant eternal youth is celebrated in legends throughout the world.
Oh, well, dragon's blood. A thing of immense value if it were real.
A shame it's pig's blood.
Well, my item was once kept in a certain Hachiman shrine and venerated as a relic. Legend says it's the sword of Taira no Masakado.
Lord Masakado?
Indeed. Lord Masakado was beheaded, and some accounts say his head never rotted. One could say that his sword is connected to agelessness, too.
Let me hold it.
Be careful.
Whose blood does it thirst for today, I wonder?
That's enough, Setsu.
And as for my item, are you familiar with the legend of the Tokijiku no Kaku no Konomi?
It's what Tajimomori found in the mythical land across the seas, isn't it?
I see you've done your research.
It's my job, after all.
Masanori is a medical researcher who also works for the Army Institute of Scientific Research.
I'm investigating ways to make soldiers stronger, and that includes the topic of agelessness.
Apparently, a certain family has been watching over the fruit of youth for generations.
Well, that's news to me.
But then this family fell into ruin, and all the Tokijiku were lost. Although, I somehow managed to get my hands on one. Look!
This is...
Oh.
It was indeed a Tokijiku. The very same one I'd been trying to find. No, to reclaim.
Everything I've heard. So I thought maybe, just maybe, this could be the real deal.
Oh, you're all experts at this, aren't you? Now then, we can't leave your valuable items lying around like this. We'll store them in a locked room until the auction starts. This way, please.
Let's go.
That leads to the basement.
Hold on a second.
Huh?
You're after the Tokijiku, aren't you?
Muss ich machen. Der scheint schlau zu sein.
Why do you think that?
If you won't be honest with me, you can go back outside.
Something the matter, Joseph?
Wetten, das hätte er auch bei Nein gesagt. Bis jetzt sind die Antworten total egal, glaube ich.
As they always do. This way, please.
Don't think you're off the hook.
Are you sure it's safe to put everything in here?
This door will be locked from the outside, and I'll guard this with the utmost care, so there's nothing to worry about.
What is this?
Oh, don't touch that. That's my item for the auction.
It's quite large.
Indeed. Let's have a look, shall we? Just a peek, though. One careless move, and we'll all be cursed.
Huh?
Yes, it's a mummy. You've all heard stories about how consuming a mummy grants longevity, I suppose.
What?
But this is no ordinary mummy. This here is a living corpse. Some claim it wanders the night in search of human blood. Whether this form of eternal life brings happiness is another question altogether, of course.
Let's return to the manor. There's still time before the auction begins at noon. Some light refreshments in the lounge, perhaps.
Yes.
Mit ihren Kack-Gruselgeschichten und so, ne? Von dem würde ich auch nichts kaufen. Jetzt geht die Tür so auf. Was war los? Also die Klappe.
What'll it be? Speak or leave now.
I'm going to reclaim the Tokijiku. It belongs to my family after all.
Your family?
Yes, my family situation is somewhat complicated. My father entrusted me with the Tokijiku when he told me to leave our house. But I didn't know where to go. Then I came down with a fever and fell asleep in some temple. And when I awoke...
The Tokijiku was gone.
Yes. I searched everywhere, to no avail. That's when I heard about...
Oh, kann es sein, dass der Vater die Person umgebracht hat und wirklich so langes Leben hat und deswegen konnte er oder hatte die Möglichkeit, diesen 100 Jahre alten Mord zu begehen? Und man kommt ja am Anfang nicht auf den Vater, weil der ist zwar alt, aber der ist ja nicht über 100 oder hunderte Jahre. Und, nee, das ist genau 100, ne? 1922 oder so. Also könnte er das begangen haben. Vielleicht. Man denkt ja nicht, so lange lebt kein Mensch. Aber durch diese Frucht vielleicht. Oder wir sollen das jetzt denken und hinterher ist was anderes.
This auction from an antiques dealer. I knew it'd be here. But there was no way I could scrounge up what I needed to get inside. That fruit is very precious to me. I have to get it back, no matter what.
It seems you and I have the same goal.
What?
I'm also here to steal the Tokijiku. I never intended to take part in the auction. What do you say to working together? We'll join forces to get the Tokijiku.
Ja, was machen wir dann? Ja, komm.
I could use the help. But I can't let it fall into your...
We'll discuss that later. In any case, you still seem to be in bad shape. It's fine if you want to make an enemy of me. But then, I'll tell everyone the truth about you.
But...
means no, Setsu.
Come on, Ginsaku, please.
I have a reputation to uphold.
But it's a brilliant idea, isn't it?
I won't allow it. You are not getting this key.
Don't
Wer den Schlüssel
worry.
zeigt.
No one will suspect a thing. I'll just tamper with their items a bit, you know? Make it look like mice got into the room. Then, our items will go for higher prices. And we can get theirs for cheap.
I've already told you no. My dear Setsu, don't you realize how crass you sound right now?
And the Oscar
You
goes
have
to...
understand, Ginsaku. I told so many people about this auction and gathered all these items here. All because I want you to live even just a little bit longer. You'll give me the key, won't you?
Mach es nicht. Nein. Nein.
No one can know that you got the key from me. Return it when you're done.
What's wrong? You're burning up.
I'll be fine. You must get the Tokijiku.
Ausgerechnet jetzt.
Not again. How long was I out for?
About 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Then it's almost noon. The auction will start without us.
It can wait. How are you feeling?
I'm fine. We've got to find the Tokijiku.
So will it be? I think it's best for us to work together.
Ja, komm, alleine kriegt sie ja wirklich nichts gebacken mit der Krankheit jetzt.
Fine. The Tokijiku is mine, though.
If you say so. You've got grit, I like that.
Das ist so weird. Die haben nur eine krasse Auktion da am Start und habe ich da was nicht mitbekommen? Log? Hat der irgendwie gesagt, wir machen jetzt erstmal einen halben Tag Pause oder was? Er liest da ein Buch, die eine kann da runtergehen und so. Wann fängt denn die Auktion an? Das habe ich nicht mitbekommen. Hier, das war das Letzte, was er zu denen gesagt hat. Wir haben noch etwas Zeit, bis es losgeht. Okay. Ja, die kleine Stärkung im Salon. Genau, da war ich. Und jetzt chillen die da draußen. Er liest ein Buch. Hä? Ganz komisch.
Can you walk?
Yes.
The door is locked.
Schön LED-Lichter in den Laternen.
We missed the perfect opportunity. I'm sorry. If only I hadn't passed out.
Who's there? Ah, it's you two. Everyone's looking for you. What were you doing here?
Well,
Just what are you up to?
We'll be honest with you. We saw Setsu ask Ginsaku to give her the key to this room. I thought she might do something to the auction items, so we came to take a look.
Setsu has the key? Are you sure?
Yes, but she doesn't seem to be here anymore. She must have gone back to the manor.
Actually, she's not there either.
What? Not even in Ginsaku's room?
Indeed. The auction is going to start any minute now. Are you sure she's still not in there?
The door's locked.
Setsu! Setsu! Are you in there? Setsu!
Okay.
this is... Wait, is this... blood?
Ist es Chris' Blood? Ist da jemand im Gang? Ist da jemand im Kellerraum? Ist beides eigentlich dieselbe Frage.
Is someone locked in the storeroom?
Okay, ich hab's falsch verstanden. Ich dachte, das ist auch der Keller. Wie so Idioten. Ihr könnt auch einfach runter gucken. Die müssen sich nicht so beugen. Ist das die Mumie? Also sollen wir denken, ne? Oh, das ist die Mumie.
It's alive! It's alive!
Krass, hätte ich nicht gedacht. Oder auf jeden Fall hat sich da jemand verkleidet oder sowas. Vielleicht sogar die Frau.
What's going on?
The mummy! The mummy's alive! That masked mummy, the one Ginsaku...
Kennt ihr noch die Kinderserie Mummy's Alive? Fand ich früher richtig cool. Hatte ich sogar ein Spielzeug von. Den mit dem Motorrad. Ich weiß nicht, ob alle ein Motorrad hatten, aber der hatte auf jeden Fall ein Motorrad. Richtig geil.
It was holding a sword covered in blood.
How absurd. Are you sure you aren't imagining things?
Yes, I saw it with my own eyes. There were red stains in front of the storeroom door, and they were all along the corridor, and then there it was.
Kinu, have you been here the whole time since the items went in the storeroom?
No, I've just been wondering about the manor. Ginsaku and Masanori also went about their business, I'm sure.
So everyone was in separate places.
Jetzt kommt die Frau.
Where did Setsu go?
Okay.
Where have you been?
Oh, Setsu's missing. I've been looking for her the whole time.
The whole time.
Perhaps
Oder die haben diesen Verrat an die Kunden, haben die extra so gemacht, dass man das hört. Dann, dass alle denken, okay, die wollen uns verarschen. Dann ist die Frau runtergegangen und macht jetzt einen auf Opfer und hat sich dann als Mumie verkleidet, um die dann zu erschrecken und um den Preis in die Höhe zu treiben oder sowas.
killed by the mummy. Perhaps she touched something she wasn't supposed to, and this is her punishment.
Insaku, you gave Setsu the key to the storeroom, didn't you?
I don't know what
We
you're...
actually saw you hand over the key to her. She was going to damage the other items to reduce their value, isn't that right?
I told her... I was against it, but Setsu...
Is there a duplicate key?
No. That was the only key.
The door to the storeroom was locked just now. We saw the mummy outside the room, which means...
I see. That mummy must have taken the key from Setsu and then locked the door.
Wait a minute. What's all this about the mummy?
Your mummy, Ginsaku, might be a real living corpse after all.
Okay. Ja, wir müssen sie so schnell wie möglich finden, sag ich mal. Wir haben nur noch 1 Minute.
In any case, first,
Warte, ich lasse
we
sie
have to
erstmal
find
ausreden.
Setsu.
Masanori, you'll go.
Me?
You're in the army, aren't you? You're probably the only man here who could win a fight. We're counting on you.
Fine.
Okay, halbe Minute nur noch. Ja, soll ich das weiterspielen oder nicht? Ich guck mal, wie teuer das ist, weil irgendwie macht das Bock, auch wenn manches ein bisschen, ja, manchmal ein bisschen unsinnig wirkt oder so und schlecht gespielt. Aber irgendwie macht das Bock. Ich werde mal schauen, falls kein Video kommt oder so, dann die Demo werde ich nicht zu Ende zocken, weil dann verrate ich mir viel vor. Okay, Leute, ich hoffe, das Video hat euch gefallen und ich sage bis zum nächsten Mal. Haut rein. Ciao.